The 10 Wrong Mentalities of Following Life and Death. Part 2. 6. The thoughts of doing evil continue continuously, day and night, which is not good. So doing evil during the day, dreaming at night is still doing evil, still doing bad things. The so-called thinking during the day, dreaming at night, you say it's scary or not. The things that the Buddha said in the scriptures are actually the phenomena of our common evil behavior. What the Buddha said is not wrong at all, and it is not excessive at all. 7th is to conceal one's own faults, to dodge one's own faults, to make all one's faults by one's own self, and to pass the responsibility on to others. The evil is great and serious. You have to be brave enough to take responsibility for your self-made, and have the courage to admit your mistakes. Only then can you repent of your mistakes. If you dodge, disguise, or cover up, the sin will be more serious. Buddha taught us to accumulate negative virtues. When we do good deeds, we should not let others know about them, but keep them hidden. The more you accumulate your merit, the more extraordinary the retribution will be in the future. Sin karma cannot be hidden. No matter how much sin karma has been created, you want others to know it. Why do this so? When this person sees you and scolds you, that person scolds you, then all this retribution will be paid off. If you yourself create countless negative karma, you must pay it off quickly. The good that you have accumulated should not be known to others. Look at ordinary people nowadays. They are just upside down. They don't want people to know about the evil they do. And even a little bit of goodness should be publicized as great goodness, so that everyone will compliment them, praising them. Then the good has been used up, the evil is all hidden. Leave it there and not move, so that when it comes to King Yama to calculate it once, then it's wrong. That's a fool, not a wise person. Buddha teaches us, which always makes sense. 8th. At present, we normally say that stubborn, obstinate, domineering, cruel, and cannot listen to other people's advice. Every single movement or stirring of thought, words and deeds are in conflict with others, loving to confront others, resistant to others, aggressive and impulsive, not willing to lose, more competitive than losing, just likes to do such things. This is also a habit, a great disease of mind. Buddha taught them the principles of cause and effect. They did not believe. When I was just starting to study Buddhism, I was 30 years old at the time, and not long after I became a monk, one day I heard some old master who were older than me, not really old, and they were probably only 40 or 50 years old. One day, I heard a few of them talking, and I was sitting next to them, and my hair stood on end. What did they say? Do you believe in the cause and effect mentioned in the Buddhist scriptures? I was horrified to hear that. They are monks, and they usually talk about karma to lay people, but they don't believe it. No wonder the old monk Li said a proverb. The monk is afraid of the layman is afraid of karma, and the karma is afraid of the monk. Although it seems to be a joke, there is a deep truth in it. In the Dharma ending period, those who learned Buddhism and achieved success. Let's take the rebirth of the Buddha. There are few monks who was rebirth, and many lay people were rebirth. We often see auspicious signs of lay people who passed away. Even in the last 30 years, Taiwan still has people standing rebirth, that is a lay woman, an old lady standing and reborn. There are more people who die while sitting, predicting the arrival of the time, without illness and suffering. However, in Taiwan over the past few decades, among the monks who passed away, I have never seen a single person with such auspicious appearance. Let alone standing, not even one sitting. Really, what Teacher Li said is right. Why? We carefully observe, the monastic has not left his body and mind, even more attachments in their hearts than the lay people. They leave their own small house, find a big temple, which is much bigger than their own house. More relatives, more money, more greed, hate, ignorance, arrogance, creating unlimited sin karma, not without, indeed there is. We all have to be on high alert for these things. This is not a good thing, but very scary, fearing that we will fall into the three paths in this life. 9th. Arika, shameless, anatapa, fearlessness, disrespect and offend no sage and saints. Shame, in our modern language, conscience is tormented. The uneasiness in one's own heart when one has done something wrong is called shame. Fearness is the criticism of outsiders, not afraid of the criticism of others, is not afraid of public opinion. Even the sages and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they also do not respect. If we recite the Infinite Life Sutra several times, it tells us, the number of people in the Western paradise is immeasurable and boundless, and no one can count them. The Buddha gave a metaphor in the scriptures. Among the disciples of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Venerable Madhyayana, who has the strongest supernatural powers. The Venerable Madhyayana, with his intelligence and wisdom, he can in the span of a single day, he can calculate all beings in the lunar mansions of a trichiliocosm. How many stars in a trichiliocosm? How many sentient beings in the stars? He can calculate, he has such great power. The Buddha said, if all beings in the 10 directions became Pratyeka Buddhas, and were they to live for 1 trillion years, and possess Madhyayana's powers, and spend their whole lives, exhausting all intellectual strength in calculating the number of those in Amitabha's assembly, at the range of 100 billion still they would not come close to even a single % of the total. The Western world of ultimate bliss is prosperous, bustling, much better than we are here. Buddha again said, people in that land, even if they are born in the lower inferior stage of lotus flowers in the land of common residence of beings and saints, their wisdom and ability will all recover, almost like the Buddha. They can see all living beings in the worlds of the 10 directions. But we cannot see them, and they can see us. When we whisper here, the other party does not hear clearly, but the Western paradise of ultimate bliss hears it all. In the Western world of ultimate bliss can hear it, how can you hide it? Our every single movement or stirring of thought here, people all know it, they have the divine mind. So we think that no one will know about doing some bad things, and we can hide it from others. Yes. There are 5 billion people in this world, you can hide it from them, and you can't hide it from any of the countless bodhisattvas in the Western world. If we truly believe and understand it, you will not dare to have an evil thought. With an evil thought, Buddhas and bodhisattvas know it, and everyone in the Western world of ultimate bliss knows it. If you want to go to the Western ultimate bliss, Amitabha Buddha is merciful and pulls you there. Everyone in the Western ultimate bliss is staring at you. How did you get here? As an evil person, did you not come here to sabotage our environment? The condition in the Western world is that those who thus attain are all superior and good people, all coming together in one place. We must cultivate the highest good, and we must not do evil things when we have thoughts and words. We must know that no matter when we are, no matter where we are, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the paradise of ultimate bliss will see it all. This is true and not false. Not only do we not dare to do bad things, we dare not speak harshly, we dare not lie, we don't even have a single evil thought. We can pat our chest and say, definitely rebirth. 2 days ago, there was a lay Buddhist in the United States who was also an old colleague of ours. He called me when he was sick, and the first thing he asked me was, "Will I fall into hell?" I told him honestly, "I don't know if you will fall into hell or not. You have to ask yourself about this matter. How can you fall into hell if you recite the Buddha's name and do good deeds? If you recite the Buddha's name and create karma, then it is unavoidable, and that is difficult." Therefore, I immediately advised him to recite the Sutra of Initiating Bodhisattva's Extraordinary Aspirations and Joy, and recite it several times to think about what karma he has created. If you have committed extremely heavy crimes in hell, as long as your breath is still there, you can still be saved. How to save? Repent, seek for rebirth. Must truly repent, must repent from heart within, and never recreate. Then you don't have to fall into the 3 paths, you can still carry the karma of rebirth. This example is found in Buddhist scriptures. In the past dynasties, people who recited the Buddha's name were reborn. We have seen it in the Pure Land Sages and Biography of Rebirth. We see many people who recite the Buddha's name to be reborn. Some who have committed serious sins, truly turn their heads, and sincerely repent, can all be reborn. If you don't believe, you keep creating, then there's no way. If you honestly turn your head to enlightenment, after you don't recreate, you'll all be saved. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are merciful. They will not remember the faults of sentient beings. Even Master Huineng said, "He who treads the path in earnest sees not the mistakes of the world." How can Buddhas and Bodhisattvas remember the faults of sentient beings? There is no such thing. The problem is that we created this sin karma ourselves. Because we are afraid of the sin. This thing is troublesome, and we must seriously repent on our own. The last one is, don't believe in cause and effect. If you truly believe in cause and effect, you will definitely restrain your every single movement or stirring of thought, words and deeds. Why? Knowing the retribution is scary. Definitely don't dare to enjoy it. These are all facts. When we think about it, we are really lucky in this life. Only when we encounter the Buddha-dharma can we understand this truth. Before encountering the Buddha-dharma, we often create these sins. Even though we don't have Purvanivasanusmriti, memory of previous lifetimes, but think about it, in the past life, I'm afraid that it is still inevitable. Thinking like that, certain deeds will be the same. In this life, before encountering the Buddha-dharma, I have created all the sinful karma the Buddha taught. I only realized it after I learned Buddhism. I understood it a little earlier, but actually it is not too early. When I was 26 years old, I then studied Buddhism and understood these things. When I was a teenager during the anti-Japanese war, I had created a very heavy killing karma. I liked hunting. So many fortune tellers showed me my physiognomy and said I was short-lived. I believe it. Why is that? Killing is too heavy. How can not short-lived? In this life, life is very bitter, and being unable to reunite with my family, I also believe it is due to karmic retribution. I killed animals and prevented the family of birds and beasts from being reunited, so I should suffer this retribution. What cause I create, I must receive that retribution. How can this be avoided? After I really understood, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas saved us. Understood the truth, truly reformed our mistakes, and stopped doing it for myself, for the Buddha Dharma and for all sentient beings. Once again encountering the Pure Land Dharma door can one truly achieve consummation in this life and obtain a path. How to repay the Buddha's grace, repay the kindness of sentient beings. How to repay the mistakes we killed those sentient beings in the past. Only to promote the Dharma and introduce this extraordinary method to everyone. In the future, everyone will be reborn in the Pure Land and become a Buddha. Then this sin karma and this karmic hindrance of ours can be roughly eliminated. Today the time has come up, let's just preach here. Amitabha Buddha.